All right, what's going on, Pye Nation? How's everyone doing out there? Give me a thumbs up. Make sure y'all can hear me loud and clear. I will get rocking and rolling here. I'm Devin, our CCO here with Dev Team 6, and we're very excited to welcome you at our 5 p.m. AMA. As you guys know, we switched up our AMAs as well as our AMA schedules. So starting next week, we will not have an AMA. The following week, we will. So with that, between those time periods of AMAs, we will be in the chat room. We will be typing in the chat. We'll be joining in voice chat, just peeping in, having some conversations, some interactions, giving some updates, those kind of things, and just, having a feel and having some wonderful conversation with our community. So we're very excited. We'll provide some updates here, answer some questions by our lovely community, all of you guys out there in Pye Nation. As I always say, we appreciate every single one of you. Every single one of you make this possible, and without you, none of this will be possible. So without further ado, I will bring up Trevor. Trevor, welcome. What's going on up here, Trevor? Don't walk much faster. Totally kidding.
Don't walk much faster.
Awesome. I'll bring up Trevor. You're blending in again.
Ooh, I wore the correct shirt today. That's awesome.
Wow. Pye Transparent. Getting the blue jacket. Transparent.
Oh, look. He's gone. You don't see him.
Awesome, Trevor. Well, let's give some exciting updates.
Alrighty, guys.
Pioneers of the Week.
Pioneers of the Week, Moderator of the Week, Pye Day Friday winners from last week. Let's get on it. Alrighty, guys. So the first Pye Day, Friday winner. Pioneer of the Week from last week, this week, whatever you want to call it. First off, Tiny Fish. Thank you very much, Tiny Fish. Tiny Fish has been going above and beyond. He's really been helping out in the community. I really appreciate that, sir. Thank you much. Next winner, SAP. S-A-P, SAP.
Like tree?
Yes,
Tree
sir.
SAP?
Tree SAP, fantastic individual. I know he's expressed interest in becoming a moderator with us, so we're in talks for that. So
excited.
Thank you, SAP. And then the final Pioneer of the Week winner is Stefan. Stefan, thank you much, sir. Excellent. Moderator of the Week, this individual has gone above and beyond, dealt with a lot of nonsense, and still come out on top. Apollo, thank you much, sir. Really appreciate everything you've been doing for us. And then the Pye Day Friday winners from last week, which I believe it was hashtag Pygration.
Pygration.
Right? Pygration. All right, this individual has been here many times. However, we have not seen him on this list in probably about a month and a half.
Man, what are you...
GFam, thank you much, sir. Glad to have you back. Putting out that content. I guess you got back from your vacation or something.
Egregious vacation.
Yep. The next Pye Day Friday winner is Pye Dye Pew.
Pye Dye Pew.
Really appreciate you, sir. Thank you much. You've
Seen
also been doing a
before.
great amount of work in the Telegram, so I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. And then the final Pye Day Friday winner is going to be SJC Pye.
SJC Pye.
Really appreciate you, sir. And once again, guys, it's $30 worth of B&B for winning these. It's very simple. Create some great content. Be helpful in the community, and you too can be a winner. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you next week.
Free B&B. Flying out of the sky. It's all about Pye. Awesome. Well, without further ado, drum roll, I will welcome both our CTO as well as our CEO. Bill is our CEO here. Bill, tell everyone hello.
Hello, Pye Nation.
Still waiting on our CTO. Don't worry. He's moving. He's no longer in the boot. But, sometimes he likes to overdo it. So we got to keep him under wraps every now and then. Oh, there he is.
Can I sneak in on this side?
Yeah, I guess I'll let you slide in.
It's the boot. He should be wearing the boot.
Oh yeah, he should. If you know Eric, like
he doesn't take advice.
Another day in paradise.
He only gives the boot. He doesn't wear it. Awesome. I have our CTO here, Eric. Eric, tell everyone hello.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Awesome. So very excited. Some exciting things going on. As you guys know, we're going through our migration right now. So you can still migrate. Go to migrate.pye.net. Make sure you migrate to your new Pye tokens. That migration tool will be able to show you exactly how much new Pye you will get. You go ahead, you enable it, confirm it, migrate it, and boom, you got your new Pye, the new Pye contract address. Make sure you guys tune into Telegram for that, as well as it should be on this. Is it on the site yet? The new address. I had to confirm and make sure it's on the site. It should be, but if it's not, we'll get it.
Do I need to start wearing a red shirt on Wednesdays?
That's what I'm saying. Every Wednesday, this guy, everybody knows in the community. Actually, I used to wear gray on Wednesdays. I think I switched it up a little bit.
I think it's like a washing rotation.
Yeah, I think one day I stayed away super late and I forgot to wear a shirt to work, so it kind of messed up my whole schedule.
At least we know we're on the same wash schedule. Like
at,
we
le-
wash.
at least you know it's getting washed.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, that's the most important piece.
Exactly.
As long as it gets
Leaving it
washed.
alone. Just leaving it alone.
Well, for
Awesome.
him, yeah.
Anyways, I know a lot of you have had questions in regards to exchanges. You know, we're on Whitebit, we're on ProBit, we're on Bitmart, we're on CoinsBit. All of those exchanges, I will provide individual updates with each and every exchange. From my understanding, with each one, there will not be any user interaction necessary to migrate to your new token. So that is what I've been informed at this point. If something changes, I will update you accordingly. When that will happen, when you will see that new Pye, those will be information that I provide to you in due time once we have all of that finalized. So anyways, without further ado, anything you guys want to discuss, talk about before we get into these lovely AMA questions here?
You know, the only thing I would bring up is obviously we know there is a small pool that is trading on PancakeSwap right now for the new Pye. Those of you that obviously engage with that and take a look at that, definitely, you know, we did stake it at 32 million. I think we were able to get it down from its crazy market cap of 350 million that somebody had staked, and then obviously pulled their liquidity once it hit that high number. So we got it down. We restaked it around 32 million. I do want you guys to also understand when we do stake the liquidity on PySwap, we are going to be staking it at 32 to 33 million market cap. So those of you that are wondering how that's going to work out, if it's going to match what the price is currently on PancakeSwap, it will not. It will actually be at 32 million market cap, with the majority, which is all the liquidity that is left to stake that we have from PancakeSwap from V1 Pye, is going to get restaked on V2 Pye on PySwap at 32 million. Obviously, we know that creates an arbitrage opportunity. We know that creates some other things that certainly I'm sure some people will take full advantage of. So anybody that's trading on PancakeSwap now, I guess you could see it as a discount. You can see it however you want to see it, but the majority of the liquidity that gets staked there will get staked at 32 million. We do plan on also launching some smaller pools on some other DeFi or DEXs, some DEX exchanges out there that are more popular. So that should happen here over the next couple of days as well. We then, obviously, the goal is to get to PySwap staking. And once that happens, like I said, it'll be at a higher market cap. So you want to start the questions, or
Absolutely.
you want me to ask?
Absolutely.
Ask away.
Ask away. Ask away,
All right,
Jose.
so we are going to start with a few here. Has everything been double checked for the release of PySwap? The codes, functionality, and safety.
Double checked, triple checked. We've been working with PySwap for weeks and weeks, running it through all kinds of tests and stress tests. So we feel very confident in where PySwap is, and we really look forward to launching it, getting it out there.
Yes, absolutely. Does PySwap have to be functional in order for Dogex, Moonforce, and the new Pye token to be made fully operational for use? Thank you.
Absolutely. You know, these tokens, Moonforce and the new Pye token, Dogex is not actually any token or anything, so I'm not sure where that one fits. But the Moonforce and the Pye token, both, you know, if they're going to be sitting on PySwap and being swapped through PySwap as a token, absolutely it has to be functional for that.
Okay. This is a Pye Moonforce related question. Will projects launching on Moonforce be required to put some liquidity on PySwap, or is that purely optional? Thank y'all.
I like the y'all.
Y'all. Yeah. The answer is simple. They will be able to obviously launch their token on their DEX of choice. I think I mentioned this a while ago, actually, that most of the time there are fees related to launching or a pre-sale or a launch pad. And in the case of Moonforce, we are going to highly incentivize every project that utilizes Moonforce really with two things. First and foremost, the fee reduction that will take place for PieSwap selection of the DEX that they choose to launch onto. So that'll be the first major component that is going to incentivize them to utilize PieSwap. The second major component is the routing system on PieSwap. Their health, the way that their market trades, authenticity of their market versus an artificial market. We believe 100%, no question in our mind, that not a dev in the world would have, or at least if I was in a community and the dev didn't put it on PieSwap, I would ask, if they need to get their head examined to find out what's going on in their brain as to why they wouldn't have done that in the first place. So we believe those two factors or those two pieces are going to highly direct people into the PieSwap world. And we do believe that PieSwap is going to be the swap or DEX of choice when it comes to traders, mainly because traders absolutely hate seeing swaps happening to generate tokenomics.
Absolutely.
And when that is something people see and witness in firsthand, and they don't see swapping going down for filling tokenomic buckets, it's going to be an absolute game changer, and almost, in my opinion, and it's again my opinion, not fully a fact at this point, but I truly do believe that we will set the standard that will be expected by holders and community members of projects. If it's not on PieSwap, I'm not interested, and I personally believe that myself. I know this may come to maybe as new news to most people, but we fully intend to migrate everything to do with Dev Team 6 onto PieSwap. And when I say everything to do with Dev Team 6, I mean everything to do with Dev Team 6. We are not planning to wait too long to do it. I know there's factors out there in some people's heads that say you have to wait, but we have a strategy in place that will allow us to do it. And we are going to fully intend to execute that strategy to get everything onto PieSwap, mainly because of the authenticity and the market being a genuine market and not an artificial market. We don't want to deal with swaps. We don't want to deal, even with the buyback side, we don't want to deal with that any longer than we have to. And we believe that that will set those projects apart, that'll set everything apart, just with its association and its execution on the market when it comes to PieSwap. So, great question. I hope I answered it. I see no reason why anybody wouldn't. And if they do jump into PancakeSwap, I'm sure they'll have a shortly lived time frame before someone starts complaining and asking them why they're not on PieSwap. Next question, will anything be done to truly equalize, as stated in the AMA, the holder's position from the migration? As to migration, the people that got 30-40% more migrating with extra reflections. For example, if Marcus had migrated during that time, he could have had an extra 100 to 200 million of new Pye. Nonetheless, other whales did migrate with extra tokens. Will anything be done with this, or will it be proclaimed as taking advantage of the situation? So I did address this, I believe, last week. I do want to remind people. I mentioned this on, I think it was either live chat or it might have been, I don't remember, Trevor. Was it live chat that we did? Okay. I recall very easily saying that I know there's a lot of people out there right now that are seeing extra reflections coming in. Please, don't wait, migrate. I don't know if you want to replay the AMA from last week, or if we took a recording of that, please re-listen to it. I did highly encourage everybody to migrate immediately, because I mentioned that we had a way through the migration tool to re-weight the migration to be able to balance and equalize it appropriately. There are some people such as Marcus that were at 39 trillion when we started the migration process, and within about 2 hours had exceeded the 56 trillion mark based on this reflection that started to take place rapidly in the first few hours of migration. And as we got towards that time frame, obviously it needed to be corrected, and it did correct itself to the point where it went back to going backwards with reflections not being counted in there as well. So on our end, we've adjusted the weight once that took place on the migration tool to match the original or originating factor when it came to the ratio for Pye, the new Pye. There are some people, you're right, that did take advantage of the opportunity that was presented to them. And I do believe that I highly encouraged everybody to migrate. And those people that migrated at the time and didn't wait, because it kind of goes both ways. There were other people out there that was brought to my attention that were going, holy cow, I'm getting a whole bunch more Pye now, so I'm just going to wait, because the longer I wait, the more Pye I'm going to end up with, because all these crazy reflections. Well, those are the people that I think ended up waiting too long and ended up seeing that it got corrected on its own before you had a chance to take advantage of it. So the truth is, the people who did it in that small window of time and already migrated, at this point, it has to be chalked up as taking advantage of the situation, because we can't go back and pull those tokens out of their wallets. I mean, that's not a decentralized token, so we don't really have any control of doing so. The only thing we have at this point was to try to make sure that it equalized in any facet that we had control over, and we did exactly that. We proactively did what we were expected to do on all levels, whether it came to the weighting of it or whether it came to the reflection issue and fixing the reflection issue so that wasn't an issue across the board. So next question, during the first
a duplicate.
hours, okay, my next question, my wallet value was around 11K before migration, now it's 7,500. How can you explain such a difference? The price for Pye obviously has adjusted. The price that we restaked it at 32 million would have been a double price from where you ended. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know that when we reweighted the tokens themselves, it did put some people at about 80% of their original. And in that case, when that happened, if it were at the 32 million that we actually restaked it at, which we had intended to, we had told Trevor, we had told everybody that we intended to stake around 32, 33 million once we hit Pye swap. When we staked it, there were a handful of people who have taken full advantage of the liquidity that was offered into the pool, which obviously has adjusted the price. But the truth be told, we are going to be staking, which will carry more weight and volume on Pye swap at 32 million. So if you're basing your 7,500 based on today's current value of 16, 17, 18 million, it's certainly going to be adjusted to a little less than where you stopped, because we stopped and started migration at 16 million. So that's where you're seeing your differential. But once we get to Pye swap live and it's now showing up in CMC, CG, and all the charts programs, then you're going to see obviously that value will adjust and change. Mm-hmm. Next question, hello. Will the 100 trillion wallet be migrated to Pye? Which big wallets will not receive BNB reflections? Burn wallet, 100 trillion wallet, any other? Okay, so any wallet, the Burn wallet, the 100 trillion, or what will be what's left of that, and obviously locked up for rewards later. Any contract wallet, any wallet that is representative of the project that is not a human holder, that is actually a earmarked towards project or project holdings within the project, those wallets will not be eligible for BNB reflections. Mm-hmm. The only wallets that will are personal wallets and holder wallets that are people that are actual holders of the project. So those will be eligible for B&B and staking, and obviously all the other things in between. The burn wallet is not in anybody's control. That is zero way to stake those tokens once they're burned. And then there's obviously the locked up wallet that will actually have less than 100 trillion. So I want to make sure you guys understand that. We do need to use some of those original locked up tokens to make up for some of the people who did take advantage of that reflection issue at first during the early stages, but it's not a ton, it's just enough. We do have some people who have migrated that have some tokens that are owed or tokens that they need. And we have some people that have some, and I don't know, I've never really seen this before, but we do have some people with some wallets that can't seem to migrate for whatever reason or another. Not sure if it's a cookie on their browser or something to do with their phone. So we're gonna diagnose that. Worst case scenario, we may need them to get a new wallet, and then we're going to have to try to find a way to burn their existing Pye. And if we can't do that, then we'll find an alternative. But we are going to accommodate all holders, mainly because there's no holder left behind, and there's no way that these things do happen, and MetaMask is not always a perfect software program. Trust Wallet has its issues, and there's a lot of reasons why those things happen. Not a lot of those reasons have to do with the DApp. It has to do with some sort of issue internally, or they haven't updated their device in a while, or whatever the case may be. But we are going to handle those over the next day or two. We feel like we've got them all in now. We've seen any situation at this point where someone's having a challenge with it. They're not having a hard time connecting to the DApp. They're just having a hard time with their transaction being able to confirm it with gas fees for whatever reason or another. But we're not seeing that issue on across the board. We're only seeing it on a handful, maybe 3, 4, 5 people at this point. We're not seeing it across everywhere. That's why we don't believe it's a across the board issue. We believe it's very isolated to those people as well. I think I answered that question. I bought approximately, that's brand manager, okay. People are very worried about losing funds, even though everything crashed recently since migration started, which would have pulled down the price of Cream Pie with it. Can you confirm that everyone's migrated value will be equivalent value ratio as in the prior token? So you're right. Everything in crypto has crashed in the last 2-3 weeks. Again, it's not a, I don't know if it's a correction so much as it is just a rebase at this point for the crypto market. But at this point, consolidation has happened, and we're going to see, obviously, 2022. We do believe is the year of crypto. Just the way things has gone mainstream in 2021. It's definitely going to become the year that technology and devices meet, and blockchain as a technology turns into something that people can see the deeper value within how that's going to apply to the real world going forward. And I'm not answering your question necessarily on the value of Pye, the old Pye versus the current Pye in terms of value. But I can tell you that, we are staking it at 32 million on PieSwap. We do believe that everybody in the end, we believe, I can't guarantee anything. I don't control what people do in the market. I don't control if Trevor decides that he's going to sell some of his Pye. I can't control anybody else, but I can tell you that if everybody's on board and we're all in this together and nobody decides to go off the reservation for some crazy reason, we should have a very healthy market when we restake at that 32 million mark on PieSwap, which I do believe should be or exceed the current value that it would have been or what it was prior to migration. New contract will have a burn proportional to the old one, right? Otherwise, even if I have the same percentage, will not be the same real proportionally. So yeah, the new one, there will be burning opportunities. It was manual burn in the past, just so we're clear. I do want to also point out that given the situation with the contract that we had on V1 Pye and the situation with making sure that we stabilize the market, Eric and I had made the decision a very, very long time ago to stop swapping on the project because we felt that that was not doing the project any favors. And so that's where the manual burn was coming from. And so we haven't truly at this point done a lot of manual burn, at least not for quite a while. We do anticipate, though, with staking and farming and things that are going to be available through Pye Swap, that's going to bring back the ability to start to burn some of the fees that come in Pye tokens. So that's kind of where we're looking at that opportunity for us to be able to burn moving forward. And you will see it. So yes, your weights are going to change proportionately over a period of time. And that should really take care of itself in the end. But you will see that. And we'll provide more updates on when those things are happening and when to look forward to them as well. How much LP, yes, how much LP is left to migrate, or where can we check? 100% of, all the LP is left to migrate at this point. There is no LP left in the old V1. All the LP is already been taken out, and it is in holding at this point that is going to be then staked at Pye Swap. That will be as soon as we stake it. And then you guys will have, obviously, the majority of the LP will live on Pye Swap. We aren't planning to remove the LP from Pancake Swap because we do believe that it'll kind of give it multiple markets to rebase itself. And also, I mean, obviously, it'll give some people opportunity to have that exposure on Pancake Swap as well. We do plan to get onto other swap exchanges and stake some smaller pieces of the LP so that there is going to be trading markets as well in some of these other newer swaps. Mainly, it's more of a marketing opportunity than it is anything. There'll be small pools, maybe $10,000 worth of liquidity, married with some Pye tokens. But that'll build us a nice little nest in, exposure, I guess, in some of those swapping pools as well. Can you clarify regarding the migration ratio? Which numbers should we divide before or after reflections were pulled? Because there's a lot of different numbers. It was 100,001 at first. It has adjusted. Tommy, unfortunately, he is knee deep in his computer doing some coding right now. Otherwise, I'd call him in here. But he is the one who played Einstein on the migration day and was successfully able to make sure the ratios all matched. Him and I actually went through those ratios in real time. And I do recall back then we were on the same page and he had them very balanced and everything was what I would call equalized. But at this time, I don't know exactly the ratio that he ended up with because we talk about it on a different level versus this number or that. We talk about it on more of a formula level on how we get there. But I will ask him, and maybe Trevor can ask him as well. I know Trevor is always available 24/7.
We wound up changing a couple times. Yeah.
It's changed multiple times, mainly because of those fluctuations that were taking place. Yeah. Contract, why doesn't Bitmart seem to know anything about migration? The trading didn't stop. I guess there was some panic selling. Was it possible to buy cheap on Pancake Swap and send them to Bitmart? That would mess things up, wouldn't it? Actually,
the Bitmart guy right here.
Actually, the truth is, buying the tokens cheap was just an opportunity for anybody that was out there that wanted to take advantage of it. Unfortunately, we don't control the entire liquidity for any of these exchanges, including PancakeSwap. There was other people that had staked liquidity outside of what the initial fair launch liquidity was. So we couldn't just shut the market down. We couldn't just lock up the contract once migration started, because you wouldn't be able to migrate your tokens. So the only option we had was to allow whatever arbitrage opportunities that were taking place. There were people buying the old Pye and
There was crazy volume.
migrating into the new Pye, doing some crazy stuff, which I thought was, kind of, at first it didn't feel right to me. It felt bad, but you know what? At the end of the day, it was not enough for it to really affect the project or have any major impact on where the next step of this project goes. So we weren't all that concerned. I do think there's some liquidity still on the old Pye. I'm not sure who owns it, to be honest with you.
It's not us.
We always thought it was Trevor, but Trevor is showing us all his wallets, and he claims it's not him. So we believe him, but somebody certainly owns what's left there in liquidity, and I highly suggest whoever it is that they pull it, because if they don't pull it and migrate what tokens they have married with the liquidity, they're going to, down the road, they're going to find a harder way of having to deal with what's left in that liquidity pool later. So whoever owns it, I don't know if they're, I assume they're still around, or they're in the community somewhere, or they're alive at least in the world, maybe eating breakfast right now, but hopefully they get the memo and they do what they need to do to really mitigate their own personal interests, but then also migrate as soon as possible as well. Why did the team reformulate Cream Pie, and what are the advantages long term? This is very simple. The reason we reformulated, and I wouldn't call it reformulated, what we've done is we've actually upgraded Pye. Pye had an original contract, which we have discovered some flaws. In fact, I actually had a funny conversation with Trevor the other day, explaining to him how this contract ended up the way that it did. That, when we were staking it and deploying it the first time back in, I don't even remember, April. We had this fun conversation about how it got to that point, and we didn't realize that we had used that version versus the version we thought we had ran with, but we confirmed it later, unfortunately. And so now here we are, so getting a new contract. The good news is a zero tokenomic contract, and I just want to point this out. Anytime you have tokenomics, you have to actually insert those tokenomics in there in their own sections, and it really starts to muddy up the contract. There's multiple variables that go into that can cause potential processing of the contract and things like that to do things later that you don't expect, or even if you test it a couple times, it pops back at you later. Sometimes there's numbers of tokens in the contract that cause issues. There's number of transactions. There's all the
That's crazy
adding up. I mean, it can truly bite you. Even if you test it 100 times, by the time you get to like month 1 or 2 in, you finally get to that point where it gets past its breaking point on something. So the good news about the Pye contract, the new Pye V2 contract, it is built and to be treated as if it were just a token. And a token that acts like a coin, that acts like a blockchain, that acts like a real cryptocurrency that you see in the top 100 tokens or top 100 coins, or the best projects that are out there. There's zero tokenomics built into it. It is a pre-audited format that is very well trusted in the industry, and you can't break it. You can't break it. We wanted it to be simple, easy, and clean, and you're getting simple, easy, and clean. That's what's exciting about going to V2. The other main reason for, as you're calling it reformulate, as we're calling it upgrade, the other main reason is that we wanted to have a brandable name that not only could become a household name, it could become a business partner with many, many companies, some of the largest conglomerates around the world. Gives us a lot more of a name that people can get behind and trust and feel confidence in the ability for it to go far and wide and build awareness within the cryptocurrency space, not only there, but on the mainstream side of society and where the world is going to really navigate into blockchain. We want Pye, again, I think it's such a fun name. It's a great, everyone likes Pye. Who doesn't like Pye? And I guess before, if you want to get a reason about the branding, before I would have said, who doesn't like cream pie, right? Now I say, who doesn't like pie? Mm-hmm. And so I think from a branding standpoint, professionalism, more investable for a lot of people. I used to get the Telegram messages from people saying, hey, I got in trouble. I was at home and my wife was asking about this cream pie on my phone, and I had to tell them, because these were the people that were hot and heavy about us changing the name.
Yes, there were
back in
quite
the
a few.
early stages.
Quite a few.
And there was one also that hit me up and said, I'm invested. I love the project. I love you guys, but I can't bring myself to show my wife that I invested in this. So we get it. And I think our intentions in the beginning were good. We have donated well over $500,000 to Action Against Hunger. So thank you for the community for doing all that. That's such a good feel for us to know that the intent is real. The why we started is going to continue. And the legacy that Pye is going to bring not only to the people involved, but also to breed, and I mean breed, confidence and impact and influence into humanity worldwide, is going to be absolutely the legacy that you're after. I mean, I know we all are in because we are interested in the ability to grow and do something great internally for our families and for our futures and build a base and build a foundation, but not realizing the bigger impact is humanity, and the bigger impact that we can make on people who will never have gotten the chance to engage in things like this and have the opportunities to truly utilize and realize their full potential as humans and bring those talents to life and unlock those areas and communities of the world that people have so easily forgotten, and bringing those people the right things that are going to help breed a future that they can truly get behind and feel confident that people are finally reaching full potential in the world. So, but anyhow, I think I got way off track.
You did, but that's okay.
That's okay. So Bitmart, Eric, do you have any update on Bitmart? Do you want to give them based on that question, or do you want me to keep going?
Eric, give them an update on Bitmart.
Devin, what do you think?
As I said earlier at the beginning of the AMA, if you're just tuning in,
I love
that. With all our exchanges, ProBit, Whitebit, Bitmart, CoinsBit, any exchange that we are on, I am in conversation with them. As I said earlier,
is there a pen bit?
There's possibly is.
There might be.
There's a pin token.
There is a
pin token. Shout out pin token.
That is true.
But anyways, yeah. So with those exchanges, based on conversations I have been having with them and going through the migration piece and everything, of course, yeah, sure. Could the exchange take their hot wallet, migrate to it? Sure. Are they going to do that? No. There's no way they're going to do that, especially with the recent things that have been going on and everything. So anyway, so what's going to happen is they're going to migrate with them. They're going to get the new pie, and they're going to take that new pie and distribute it amongst the holders. They're going to take the old cream pie. There are sects, so they do have a little bit more control over wallets than, of course, we do in the decentralized world. So there shouldn't be any user input, as I've said. If there is anything or any changes or anything like that, I will communicate that accordingly. That will happen very shortly, and I will provide individual updates for each exchange. So that's the current situation on Bitmart and any exchange out there. And yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Good job.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Well done.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Well done.
Okay, next
like
question.
Like red shirt and all over again.
Yeah, I'm
this whole year.
I'm gonna buy me green shirt.
A green one?
So I'm invisible like Trevor. I want to go invisible. Sometimes I wish that, I could see what it looked like.
You should get like a
on
green
video.
shirt, but it has like the organs outlined where you can like see the organs, but not the actual body
Shirt.
itself. It's pretty cool, huh? Right? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure Justin could
That'd be
do
pretty
some
cool.
really cool
There you
video,
go.
stuff.
Yeah. Justin,
All
how you
right.
doing over there, Justin?
Next
Sir,
question. Are the CertIC audits in progress, or would that happen after Pye Swap? So the CertIC audit will happen immediately as soon as we have a confirmed final router. At this point, we feel like we do, and we feel like the testing has gone extremely well. We did have that one hiccup. We had everything ready to go Friday. BSC having their chain issues and giving us too much time to play with the new toy. Obviously, then we got into playing with the slippage, which we had not done before. We had just gone with automatic slippage based on default. And so when we got into that and we started playing with slippage, that's when it got a little bit funky on Monday, or actually Sunday night, and then into Monday. And so we are just in the process now of getting all that wrapped up. So once we've feel 100% that we've confirmed that everything in all aspects of that has been fixed, which we do believe will be in the next 8 to 10 hours, we believe. We should have, based on the team, based on everything Eric's been doing, and I mean, this man has been up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's been working ever since, taking shifts with Tommy and some of the other team members. I was up till 3:30 with Tommy. We are definitely in tune, and we know where we live. The only thing that we're up against at this point is 1 or 2 last little pieces that we feel are, and again, these are would-be nice things. These are not must-haves to launch Pye Swap tomorrow. But it is a confirmation of not having to go to a V2 router later. So we'd like to confirm that so we can start the audit with CertIC, so everything can move forward as first aligned. The only other thing we're waiting on with Pye Swap, just to give you guys an update on that, is CG and CMC. They have all been submitted. Migration has been submitted. Everything has been submitted to them. The contract is in their hands. We are actually looking at we got some responses. We've given them the updates on the information they needed. They needed a message of what goes on top, how it's explained, what's going on, what's the note. If you go look and you see a little note on the top, it tells you, this is migrated from V1 to V2 or whatever. So we've submitted all that. At this time, we're waiting on them to respond to us so that we can at least get the pancake swap pool showing up on both of those, as well as once Pye Swap goes, the API is connected to their system. So that is all something we're waiting on so far. PooCoin, Dex Tools, those are both as well 2 issues that we need to, or we want to, these are again would be nices, to have all that locked in and connected properly. I'm not sure if we started that process 2 weeks ago. We're still waiting on both of those to wrap up, and we do believe that's going to be intermittent. We don't know exactly if that happens an hour from now. I kind of feel like when CMC and when CoinGecko,
Sure, all over again.
I remember those days.
I feel like we're going down that road.
Boy.
So anybody that wants to be funny, I'd jump in chat right now and type in when CMC.
Please don't.
You're gonna make this guy real happy.
Lord.
But yeah, so that's where we're at. I mean, total transparency. There's nothing for us to tell you otherwise. We're just feeling like we want to make sure. If we launch Pye Swap right now, and then obviously Pye Charts is getting some revamping done right now. So our backup to PooCoin, Dex Tools, CMC, Gecko is we do have Pye Charts getting integrated fully as well. And we do believe that by Friday we'll have that ready. So if we do launch Pye Swap without those other 4 things fully integrated, at the very least you'll be able to track it on Pye Charts and be able to track it in its entirety, the price, the where it's at, the price per, all that kind of stuff, so you guys can see it. That's that's probably our first step that we'll take and to make sure, and then the others, as I said, are intermittent, so we'll wait until those come through as well. But we're very, very excited. I know you guys are too. We're all excited. Trust us, if we could get it done and launched, we would. And it's not a matter of, again, it would be nice as these are not must-dos. But we also know to have a healthy market and have a healthy holder group and have a healthy of everything, it needs to be able to, be seen. It can't just be like, oh, it's behind the
trading.
screen.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to be able to actually see
It's
the
there.
market.
It's just wearing a green shirt.
No, it's
Yeah,
Trevor.
that's right.
Trevor now threw on his Under Armour shirt. I think he wants to make sure he doesn't disappear, but that's a whole nother story. So anyhow, that's where we're at. Just giving you guys a little bit of update. Again, it's very important that we continue forward and just to really just make sure it's done right. And that's important to you, I'm sure. I'm sure it's important to everybody else. I know this guy wishes he could sleep at night. I wish I could sleep at night. Poor Tommy's wanting to sleep at night. Ryan's up all night. We have a whole bunch of our team members that do not sleep because we're making sure that we get things where they need to be. The next question, not the last question, what would define the value of Apple and Cherry Rewards? So they'll start out with what we stake them to be. I do believe one of them should be well over $1 per token. I think the other one will come in around a penny, a little over a penny, maybe a penny or two or three, somewhere in that range. I believe can't remember, is it Apple or Cherry? I think it'll be Cherry that is the governance token. Cherry will actually be around $1, and Apple should come in around a penny, I believe. So I'm just giving you an idea. That's the idea of where you start those. Those will actually have utility within the system. They'll have other things that can be done with them. So there will be value to those. There will be a trading market for those. Those will trade just like any other token trades, or I guess you call it trade swap, just like any other token swaps. Next question, will you be doing any deep dive interviews on how you got the idea, the Pye idea, and what makes it different? So I do have some AMAs. I don't know if you all know Cryptic, right? Cryptic is certainly an absolute monster when it comes to making things happen. So she is doing some major press pushes for various different press release companies, interviews for magazines, as well as some of these influencers on YouTube. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a bunch of those type of deep dives into the Pye project. We certainly want to get the white paper out, the new white paper out. We want to get the new roadmap on V2 website. We do need to get some other things tightened up when it comes to a Git book that is going to be ready for Pye Swap. We do want that out live, so you guys, all those materials are out there. So as we go on this major tour, media tour, talking on all levels, I think I have to hire a translator for a few of these different exposures that she's got for me. It's going to be a whirlwind, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also going to be a real push on our part. You know, we're going to be out there speaking and front facing the world. And the idea isn't just to front face the world. You know, right now I'm doing my part to reach out to some major crypto players, telling them about Pye Swap, telling them about the Pye project. I'm telling those players all sorts of things that we're doing. Some of you know that we have connections with some people that are heavily into crypto. I'm very much pushing Mark Cuban right now on Twitter, trying to get him to follow what we're doing. I truly believe I'm going to be successful at it. I know there's some others out there that I'm pushing as hard as I can to use our influence to get this in front of people who we believe are going to care, because crypto needs to be authentic, right? And that's what Pye brings to the table: authenticity. Authenticity meaning an authentic market, a market that isn't artificially driven, that is actual, it's an automatic market maker. That's great. But when that automatic market maker can be artificially driven by the smart contract, that's just not trading in a very authentic market. So that's what Pye is going to bring to the table. That's what Pye is going to change for people. Once you start talking that language to the right people, it truly does raise some eyebrows. And I can't wait till the world can see it, can engage with it, can see it. I know you guys are just, you guys have been absolutely amazing. And from the bottom of my heart, Eric's heart, I'm not sure where most people have a heart. Devin's would be right here. But for
It's like the Grinch's heart.
yeah, it's somewhere in here.
I got a pretty big heart.
Should we tell them where we're going in the spring?
Oh yeah, we're going to be attending the Dubai conference for crypto. It's a crypto conference expo in Dubai in March. We will be speaking at that crypto expo. We will have a speaking part for us to go up there and tell the world at the crypto conference. We will have also a booth, a full booth set up that will be displaying all of what we're doing in terms of the Pye ecosystem, all the various facets of it, all the various pieces of what we're bringing to the table. We do believe by then we will have a pretty decent amount of overwhelming interest in people partnering with Pye for many different reasons, many of which I haven't said yet, because I feel like I want to take this one step at a time, just because I know what you guys are expecting, what we can't wait to be done. And once that happens, then we can talk about the next steps and what evolutionary pieces are going to come into play once we move forward into 2022. So that being said, the next question here. So deep interviews will come, whoever asked it.
It kind of blends in with question 2.
How far Pye can reach in 2022? Well, the easy answer for you is to say it's got all sorts of potential, right? I mean, that's a simple, easy, quick, easy out answer anybody can give you. But ultimately, Pye's potential of what we have in terms of the base core asset is truly, there's technology that has potential, but it's limited to its volume, or it's limited to what it actually does in terms of, bringing another swap to the table, or bringing another technology that's similar to something that's already out there. Now you're really basing your project based on branding. You're basing your project based on marketing experience, or you're basing it based on all these other things that are out there, right? But what makes Pye so unique is its total re-engineering of a tech that is out there in the automatic market making swap arena that is going to forever be known as the first to do it, and the founding father of the new way that tokens are traded, or markets are actually driven by those automatic market makers moving forward within cryptocurrency. That is truly something that will never die. That is something that will continue on without limitations and without any sort of things that is going to set the stage for the next innovation, which we're not talking about and we haven't talked about. There's actually 2 of them that are already in development. There's 2 that are already in development. One is actually already done.
Yep.
One is actually already done and ready to go. It just beat Pye Swap before it got done. But the innovations that are going to be layered on top of this Pye ecosystem are truly equally as important to cryptocurrency and changing the forever how it's handled or how it's done within the space. So what does 2022 look like for us, for the Pye project, for the community, for the people? It truly is going to really depend on all the various channels that we release within this ecosystem. We're gonna release the core, but there's so many other layers that are gonna come in 2022. So how far can it reach?
That's up to us and the community.
I don't know. Might have to see if Elon's got an extra seat on Starlink or something. Okay, this is Pye Moon Force related question. I understand launching a Moon Force. Launching a Moon Force strongly encouraged. I think that's a duplicate question.
A lot of it seems to be, yeah.
Would DT6 consider starting a DAO of its own based on Pye Swap? There will be a DAO for future, but I don't know that it only being based on Pye Swap will be the thing. I do know that we have the governance token, Cherry, so that will basically be the DAO for Pye Swap. This next question, I typically have the answer for. I'm usually really, really good with this. I'm very much inclined to answer, but I might let someone else answer it. So the question is, how is Eric?
Tired.
Tired.
I'm doing okay, doing all right. One day, one foot in front of the other, and we just keep marching forward and really looking forward to a lot of this stuff coming out. I mean, that is we are literally up 24/7 working on these projects to get them pushed out and to the public. So really looking forward to that. Once those come out, it'll all be worthwhile. It's all worthwhile now, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely. All those nights where I get the text, it's like, if you're not home in the next 10 minutes, I'm locking you out.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That never happened, I promise. My wife is very, very supportive. But this has been obviously a journey. I could sit here a million times and tell you guys thank you. The true reward is going to be when you guys get to play with it and see
Absolutely.
it, and you get to truly realize what you waited for. When you see it on the blockchain, when you see it actually happen, when you see the things that the router is going to do, I don't even know how to explain how the feelings that you get, the feelings that you receive.
A lot of people don't actually understand it yet.
No.
And but they will.
They will when they don't see these red, artificial red cells.
Why is the dev team selling 250 billion every 6 minutes?
Can't wait till the day when no one has to ask a question as to why is this 50 billion trade keep going through every 10 minutes?
Yeah.
In fact, they
might
actually go, somebody keeps buying 10 BNB.
That's right. Keep buying 10 BNB every 6 minutes.
What is this 10 BNB? Oh, guys, that's the liquidity. They're buying it to throw it into the liquidity. That's going to be the best day ever. I promise you. I can't wait to see that on Telegram.
Yeah.
And what would be even better is if we have nothing to do with that project.
We're going to see it on Moon. We're going to see it on Moon.
We don't even know the people in the project, and we just jump into a room because Trevor texts me about every 3 minutes at night with a new project on Telegram. He's like, "Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this?" So
He's had some good calls too.
He does have good calls.
Yeah.
But he's going to hit me up with one. I'm going to go into Telegram and go like, who keeps buying 10 BNB? I'm going to go, that's because of what we did with Pye Swap.
That's right.
So, guys, thank you so much. Devin, do you want to lead us home here today?
Hey, all the way home. Appreciate it, Pye Nation. Thank you all so much. As I said, information with exchanges, I will provide that here in a short manner. Like I said, we're just chugging along, and the finish line is almost there. So we appreciate your love and support. We'll see you all soon. As I've said, next week we will not be having an AMA. We will be following up the week after. So we are starting our new AMA schedule every other week. So we will get that information out. As I said, with our new sites and everything, we'll be outputting a calendar, events for that month and updating those on a daily basis. So anyways, without further ado, we appreciate it so much. We love you guys so much. Take care and see you soon. Bye, Pye Nation.
Bye, Pye Nation.